Alright, who's next? You know what we're doing.
I believe the government is messing with antimatter.
Antimatter?
Come on, I want to hear this.
I don't know if you're familiar with CERN. It's a company. It's a research and development company. And
It's like CERN, right?
CERN. Yeah. That's the acronym. But I believe that they're messing with antimatter. Is it antimatter or antimatter?
Yeah.
keep
Messing how?
They're running. I can't even explain it, to be honest. It's like a.
Don't look at me.
long-
I don't know anything about this.
Do you know anything about it? Does anybody
I
know?
know
No,
about
you know
antimatter,
as much.
but I
You
don't
know
know
more than
Telling
any.
us. It's
You're
news
telling
to
us.
all of us.
You could say anything. Nobody knows what antimatter is. So you
Yeah,
can say anything you
so-
want.
Antimatter, if I'm not mistaken, it's when you take two nuclear atoms and you split them and then you run them through like this tube that's like super long. And I guess it travels at the speed of light, and I guess when they hit each other or when they collapse, it makes antimatter. And I guess antimatter is like super dangerous.
Does it matter?
Super dangerous. Oh yeah, it definitely matters.
Oh.
It's it could
matters
cause
well.
like catastrophic events if something was to happen. They're basically trying to time travel. They're like,
Wow, I'm
That's
in.
what it is.
Who would like to time travel?
Where are you learning about this?
Yeah.
I can't remember the source exactly, but I've been reading about it. You seem a little interested.
Alright, what news you got?
What news do you have, Nick?
What news you got?
I don't have any government news.
Any news?
Government news.
Any
Make
news?
some up.
I know recently in NBA news that Bradley Beal scored 51 points.
Speak loud so that thing in the middle of the table can hear you.
Bradley Beal from the Washington Wizards scored 51 points.
One game.
That's great news.
Is that a record? I don't think it is.
No. A record?
Yeah.
51 points in a game?
Wilt Chamberlain's got over 100
Oh yeah,
in a game.
that's not like
In one game, Wilt Chamberlain has over 100 points.
Well, this kid's halfway there. Are we not gonna call on someone?
Well, there's a
Can you
couple
do-
people that know they should be talking without being called out.
Yeah.
You're not one of them, so what news you got? There's nothing in the whole world that's new.
I woke up today.
That's new? It's new for today.
Good for him.
So say it loud like you mean it.
I woke up today, so did the rest of you guys.
I'm still asleep.
But yeah,
Alright, we'll let that one go. Who's next? If you haven't went, you obviously know you could be next, so.
Alright, so I lost my wallet last week and I'm still currently trying to find it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know. Well, it's a new thing for you guys, so.
You have any money in it?
Like $40. Almost there.
Anything you have to go replace? Like cards or?
Driver license. I'm going to the DMV tomorrow to get my new license.
That's news.
I don't got any news. Nintendo Switch is compatible with 2K.
What's that?
Nintendo Switch is like a handheld, like I don't even know what it's like a mobile gaming device. It's like a handheld gaming device. You got a screen and like two controllers on the sides. You could like break the controls off the sides and then
Like
pass
the
it to
Wii.
one of your friends, and you just could play anywhere. And I just found out it's 2K compatible.
Who hasn't went?
I found out yesterday that Selena Gomez's account is now private.
Say that louder.
Yesterday I found out that Selena Gomez's account is private on Instagram. It's usually public.
You trailed off at the end there. What was the last thing you
What?
said?
It used to be public. Now it's private.
You trailed off at the end there. What'd you say?
It used to be public, now it's private.
Oh, nice. I like that. All one volume. That's good. What's the news in that? Why does that matter? Why do you choose that? What does that say? Is that just interesting, or
Yeah.
is there some like government thing like about it? No? Okay.
Everyone know who she's talking about? Alright.
So the headphones that I bought from the trip to New York, they ended up being really bad. So like I sold them for $3 because I knew they wasn't gonna be that good.
Okay, wait.
I knew they wasn't gonna be that good, so I wanted to sell them cheaper, but I just wanted to see what would happen. So I sold it to like 3 people, and I had to give them their money back because like one like the earpiece like got stuck to her hair, my friend's hair.
Oh my god.
So I had to give her money back, and then like I just stopped selling them. Like I sold like 4, and I just had to stop because it was bad business. The charges work, but
That's unfortunate.
yeah, that's sad.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't involved for the whole thing, so I don't know
Yeah, we
if
were.
everybody went. Everybody went. Heard from everybody.
Wait, can I say something else?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have a pit bull and I can't take care of him anymore, so I'm giving him away for free.
Ooh.
So if anybody wants him, he's a blue nose and he's 8 months.
Hey, how? Yes.
I don't know you.
I was at the pound last weekend, and my buddy's getting a pit bull, and his name is Rhino, but he's a little. How big is he? She.
He's pretty big. His name is Lucky.
And
Name is what?
Lucky.
how? Temperament?
He's playful and he just gets aggressive when you play aggressively with him. But
Yep.
like he's
As he should.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Okay. Interesting. I'll talk to you after.
Good announcement.
That's a great announcement. I mean, just so it's probably obvious, but let's go with the obvious. So don't try to overthink this, but why do you think we're, 1, asking you to speak, and then 2, getting on you for the level of your voice?
Is it because of our journal quote for today? To overcome your shyness.
Okay, so there is a linkage there, yeah. And so why overcome the shyness?
Because like if you're really shy and you don't want to talk, you're gonna tend to speak really low and not want to like be like the first one to talk. You're just gonna wait until you get picked and like I have no choice but to talk now.
Yep. What else?
Well, communication. Communication is key.
Communication is key,
And
okay.
Being able to speak at a level where everybody can hear you in the room.
Yep,
Or
okay.
Necessarily the person.
Yeah, so being able to speak at a volume that everybody can hear you. Carla, you had something.
People like confidence.
Say it for me as if you were embodying what you just said.
People like confidence.
People like confidence. So people respond, they like confidence. And so what about speaking at a level that somebody can hear you? I don't even want to say loudly, although loudly is one thing. But what about speaking at a level that people can hear you, bestows confidence, communicates confidence? What about it?
You sound like you know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you sound like you know what you're talking about. It's really great if you sound like you know what you're talking about and you actually do know what you're talking about. That's a really great thing to pair together. What else? Get a little, I mean, I'm fishing for an answer here. These are great answers, they're all great. But get a little philosophical, get a little like look inside yourself, get a little personal. Nobody? Little self-love, self-compassion sort of stuff. What do you got? Any ideas? I mean, if I can't hear you, if you're not going to project your voice, if you're not going to be the person that stands up for your ideas and communicates them in a way that other people, 1, can hear and can hear a confident tone, and it communicates that I know what I'm talking about, I believe what I'm talking about. I mean, if you can't do that for yourself, who's gonna do that for you? You have a voice. I mean, it's very important to use your voice. If you take nothing else from this class, It would be to use your voice. I don't care if you're speaking about business. I don't care if you're talking about what's going on at Subway. Like, I don't care what we're talking about. But I got to be able to hear you because what you have to say matters. And if you speak at a level like this and then you drop down, I don't know that what you're saying matters because I don't even know that you think it matters. Who here feels like what they say matters? Yeah. So make it matter, truly. I mean, you guys have a voice. You all have a voice. Make it heard. It's very important. We're going to work on this more than ever or throughout the whole course, but man, it's important for you to be heard. That's all you have, really. I mean, you've got other stuff too, don't get me wrong, but it's important, real important. Okay, so it's funny we started off with that activity because it was a little bit of a roundtable thing and it got you out of your comfort zone a little bit. I've got another one very similar to that. Who here uses Reddit? Anybody use Reddit? So on Reddit, they do this thing. It's an internet posting board. On Reddit, they do this thing called Ask Me Anything, AMA. And so sometimes every few classes, I do this thing called AMA, Ask Me Anything. Ask Me Anything, and then they do a slash around some topic. And so this would be an Ask Me Anything regarding business or entrepreneurship. If there's something that you've been wanting to know about, something that you've been interested in, some question you haven't asked, here's an opportunity to really just have an open dialogue around whatever. This could last no minutes because nobody will speak, or this could last 15 minutes because everybody has something that they want to ask. But does anyone have a question? It doesn't have to be related to your business, doesn't have to be related to what we've done in class, particularly or preferably it wouldn't be. It's something new, different that you've had on your mind. So ask me anything in terms of me, in terms of Nick, and even of your other classmates. It's an AMA for the class. Scott's in the back of the room, you can jump in. So really, truly, if you've got a question, we can chime in and try to get an answer. So I got a hand here and a hand here. Let's go Carla first.
So like if you wanted to rent out, let's say the e-center for an event, would that be possible?
It's a great question. So one, it would depend on what the event is, and two, who you're renting it out for. If it's for you all and it's like your business and something that you're doing, you can have at it. You just have to schedule it with us. There's no rental fee. The only thing that might get involved is if it's on a weekend and we have to have security here, that might be an extra expense. So we might have to figure that out. If it's for you doing it on behalf of another organization and that organization has a budget, well then we'd probably rent it to that organization at whatever rate made sense. But if it's for you, your business, we've had kids host baby showers here, right, for other people, and that's totally cool, right? So your question is, or rather your answer is, it wouldn't cost you anything if it's for a larger organization, then we would work that out based off of what they could pay. Or, yeah, that's a great question. You have full access to this building. Yeah.
So do you know anything about CERN?
Yeah. Yeah. Does anybody know anything about CERN?
I was playing with I remember seeing an article. There was doing something like dimensional travels or something. It looked pretty far fetched, so I didn't click on it. I didn't see that stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's. I don't believe it's company. I'll make that. I believe it's a partnership among many, or it might be a company. It's not a company, but they are researching antimatter, dark matter. They are trying to figure out some of the building blocks of the universe, if you will. They're doing that. They created this absolutely massive underground loop tunnel in which they send atoms around at the speed of light, as you said, smash them together and see what comes out of it. And they try to detect particles. There's a Higgs boson particle that they believe they were going to find. I'm pretty sure they have found it. And there are some people who think that they're playing with fire, and there's people that have called it the God particle. So there's that piece to it where people think like, oh, we're playing with something we shouldn't be playing with. But it's a bunch of physicists trying to figure out smaller atomic particles. So we've got the ones we know about, and then we believe that there are even smaller particles that make up those particles. That's all that I know. I don't have the big nefarious conspiracy theory regarding CERN. I think it's just science being science, and I think there's always, I know that you're gonna tell me that they did this fake sacrifice there to mess with people. I know you're about that life. I mean, this is science we're trying to figure out. But I will say this, in my own understanding of the world, which is limited, that I've heard someone say all monological explanations of universe are null and void. If you're looking for one building block of universe, if you're looking for one particle that creates all the other particles, you're never going to find it, because everything's are always in complements to each other. But that's a whole nother thing.
Scott,
But
you're gonna add.
No, I was indicating to Jody that I
Yes.
have the.
So we couldn't figure out. We couldn't figure out when we weighed particles as best we could. We couldn't figure out why there was some missing weight. So people started to talk about antimatter. But years ago, a scientist whose name was Peter Higgs said that there was a particle, and it was called the God particle because Peter Higgs predicted that this particle came into existence and went out of existence at exactly the same time. That makes something pretty hard to find, right? At CERN, they found the Higgs boson. So we know that there are particles smaller than those that came before. They did it at CERN by sending two particles racing in opposite directions against one another, and the two particles struck, and the world didn't end. So they're not messing with antimatter. They're just trying to get to the bottom. That's an interesting way to put it. They're trying to get to the bottom of what makes atoms and particles. How small are the pieces? And Brandon says, not gonna get there, right?
well, yeah, you're not.
Be something
There's always going to be
smaller.
something small, right? You're not going to find. I mean, maybe you will. But to connect it back to business, I mean, it's a great. I mean, some of the experiments that this mimics might be part from the Manhattan Project, which happened in the 30s and 40s to try to figure out nuclear fission and what became atomic weapons.
Yeah.
That then opened up the nuclear industry of nuclear power and lots of other businesses and industries within that. So science funding is usually funding the cutting edge of research, and then that finds its way into the mainstream in terms of commercial projects and businesses. So I'm not scared of it. If anything, I'm optimistic that we find these things and then we release this data and findings to the general business community or the general community, and then we find ways to apply this new science towards problem solving.
Okay.
So CERN is a really great example of that. Other questions?
What's antimatter supposed to be? Because I've heard you guys mention that about a dozen times, and I still don't know what that is. Like,
Well, nobody knows what it is, but
that's a really abstract.
the prediction is it has to exist, because when we add up the weight, the mass of all of the things in the universe, it doesn't come to the right number.
So there's something that's out there that we can't see that we know is there based off of us weighing things or taking the mass of things. So there's matter, and then there's this other stuff that we pretty much believe is out there, but we can't find it yet. Because when we do our calculations, and I know almost nothing, but when we do the calculations, something isn't adding up. So it's telling us, hey, we've got to keep looking for something else. There are smaller particles out there, right? It used to be the electron, the nucleus, and the proton. What did I just miss? Electron, nucleus, and proton. Yeah. So, and then it got smaller from there. Those were the three subatomic particles, went smaller. So this is just saying there's something out there that we can't find. There's matter, and then this invisible stuff that we know is there based off of the weights and the calculations, but we haven't found it.
But then what gives us the parameters for like how much there is to measure?
Science.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, that's not specific enough. Like, you can't just say science and expect it to work itself out. You gotta like know what you're actually talking.
Let's look into this after, because
Okay.
I do want to connect this back to business, right? And by the way, there's a great connection somewhere in there, but I don't know the answer, and we'll just sit here speculating on class time. Ask me anything related business entrepreneurship. Anything that's driving on your mind, yeah.
So you know the holiday fair that's happening Sunday?
Yeah, this is a great question.
Holiday fair.
Are we gonna be selling our products there too, or?
Yes, you're going to be selling your products at the holiday fair as well as manning some booths. And so you're going to be wearing two hats, right? So we're going to have a marketplace. We're going to sort of tag people in and out. Some people are going to be selling. We're going to have prices up there. They can take money. Some people are going to be running the booths. We're going to figure it out at the holiday fair. It's going to be a little bit of a ragtag event. We're going to make it happen. We're going to figure it out on the fly because we're entrepreneurs and we think on our feet. So yes, you're going to sell your stuff, and you're also going to be working some booths to try to make money. And maybe your booth and your sales table are right next to each other. We're still figuring that out. But as a reminder, this Sunday is the holiday fair. Everybody who signed up, great. Anybody who didn't sign up, great. We'll see you there because you just signed up now. It is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'd ask that you arrive by 10 a.m.
Yeah,
10 a.m.
is good.
10 a.m. is good. All your stuff will be here. Yes. You gotta be louder.
What?
Can I start selling my things before that? Because I have friends that want to buy the gloves I bought.
Yes. You can sell your stuff beforehand. Yes.
What if you can't make it to the holiday fair?
You got to give me a good excuse why, and then you're good. Okay, there's your good excuse. Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little more on the CVS and Aetna deal?
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good question. Ask that louder.
Can you help me elaborate a little more on the CVS and Aetna deal? I know CVS just bought Aetna.
CVS just bought a large insurance company. That's all I know. I know that they are worried about Amazon delivering prescription drugs to the home. I know that this was somehow a play of buying an insurance company that is in the business of bringing prescriptions or delivering prescriptions to consumers. When I say delivering, I mean making them available at pharmacies and pretty much pharmacies. And that this is somehow a play for them to start getting better at thinking about the next generation of getting prescriptions to people where they are, when they are, and having more control over that. That's a great question, which I actually don't know a great answer to. I don't know if anybody else knows.
Well, the jury's out on whether this is a good thing for healthcare or not a good thing for healthcare. Your healthcare company insures your health by physical examinations and by pharmaceuticals. So if your healthcare company insures you for pharmaceuticals and half of your healthcare company is CVS providing the pharmaceuticals, will the price of drugs go up or will it go down? And since no one's ever done this before, we don't know. We have no idea. But you are all young enough to find out. Stick around.
Scott, you got something?
I did, and this was just speculation also too, but when I heard the news break that some part of it might be to allow there to actually be doctors in CVS pharmacies. So if you go in, like you don't have a primary care physician, and something's just wrong, like now you have to go to see a doctor, and then they send some medication to CVS, then you go to CVS to pick it up.
Yeah.
So part of having the insurance might be to allow it all to be in one place, so you can go in, get seen by somebody, and then get the services right there. And again, we don't know what that would do to cost, and would that make it, would that be better than doing it the traditional way, or maybe not, we don't know.
Okay.
And the last thing I'll say on this piece, it's a great question. What you've asked is sort of the $69 billion question. I'm pretty sure that's what they paid. They paid $69 billion for this company. So there's got to be a huge strategy. There's got to be some grand strategy that the people in Woonsocket are putting together, because this is a Rhode Island company. This is a big deal for Rhode Island, right? It could mean a lot for Rhode Island. So yeah, it's a great question. Anyone want to have the last question regarding business? Ask us anything, ask your classmates anything regarding business and entrepreneurship, some burning question. Giselle's going to take the cake. She takes us home.
Okay, so I need help because I feel like going into E360, there was this general expectation that I wasn't aware of, that like we should just go in with an idea that we already want to execute. And quite frankly, like there's been a lot of stuff continuously that has kept coming up where it's like, create this thing revolving around an idea you already have that you know you want to do for a business. And I have no idea what I want to do. Like I have lots of different ideas, but like whether or not those are all feasible, haha, see what I did there? I used the word, yes. But like whether or not those are all feasible, like I'm not really aware of. So I don't know what I'm doing, and I still don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm sort of at a loss because, you know, I feel like you guys keep bringing up assignments with the expectation that we already are set on exactly what we want to do. So, help me.
Yeah.
Who feels like that? Anyone else?
Kind of.
Who seconds that opinion?
There you go. Second,
So
third,
we go,
fourth.
oh, here we go.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna add two things on there. One, you might not already have an idea, right? Then you just have to be creative. I don't know what homework are you specific about?
Like for example, create a video for
Big Bang?
Austin, yeah.
Or for South by Southwest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa!
The feasibility chart was part of that homework. That was
Any
based
feasibility chart?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, you're spot on, I think, for what we're transitioning into today, so that's great. And as we transition into today, which if it doesn't answer that question by the end, and we'll get plenty of time to figure that out, we'll keep talking. From this first half hour of class, and I think Brandon said it, and I had to step out, so I'm sure he said it more. Like, this is your class. We should be hearing from you. Not calling your name at this point, 5 weeks in. We want to answer your questions, absolutely. But man, you should be answering your own questions. I heard about Aetna and CVS. Here's what I know. Right? Like, we're not here to feed you and feed you and feed you. You're here because you're entrepreneurs. We really believe that from your applications, from the people we talk to. Entrepreneurs do more. Entrepreneurs find the answers. Entrepreneurs come to class excited. Wow, did you hear about this other business thing that happened? How much did they pay? Billions of dollars? I wonder what's next. Here's what I know. And it might not be on your business, but it all connects. Everything we've done in here will connect to your outcome. And we know that. So it's probably harder to be in your seats. Like, what does this have to do with anything when I don't even know what my business is yet? But once you know it, you can apply it every time to anything. So that's the exciting part for us. But we got to get you there. And we get you there by doing conversations, getting you to talk out loud where we can hear you, so that someone else can hear you when you've got something important to say. That's what I got as we transition to, like, what is your idea? And if you don't have one, let's figure it out based on what you're interested in, what your skills you have, what knowledge you have, what resources you have.
And we'll do it like this. So, and I'll answer this as we do this piece because it's a great question, which is somebody throw out some words that you use on a day-to-day basis that you don't think I know, that you don't think Jody knows, that you don't think Nick knows, and you don't think Scott knows. If you get where I'm going with this, throw out some words that you use on a day-to-day basis. I don't want to call them slang because they're actually really not slang. They're just part of your lexicon. That's your vocabulary. Things that you say that are a little bit too new and too young for maybe me and the rest of us to understand.
Subpar.
What's that?
Subpar.
Subpar. Well, so I think I understand that, but maybe y'all are using it in a different way. What else you got?
Lexicon is specifically the vocabulary that you have stored away in your mind. I just want to add that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Some words that I won't know that you use among your friends.
Clutch.
Clutch. Okay? Like in the car?
No. See? Exactly.
I got you. I was setting you up. Come on, give me some more.
John.
What?
John.
You gotta spell that. This is the first one I really don't think I know.
John.
J-O-H-N?
Oh.
J-A-W-N.
Okay? Come on, more like this. Come on, you're smiling. You got one. Come on, help me out. Let's go, people. What do you got? He's got too many.
I just talk. I can't
Come on, give me one.
This activity. I gotta think. I'm trying to think of a really good one.
Just give me any one.
See, some of them are not really safe for work.
Yeah, some of them.
All right, well, yeah, make them safe for work.
That's what I'm
please.
trying. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Come on.
Heated.
Heated. All right, I think I know that one, but I like it. Come on, give me the ones that. Give me anything, but give me the ones that you really don't. Try to stump me.
Tweaking.
Tweaking?
Ooh,
I don't know. I don't think I want to know.
we know tweaking.
Tweaking.
Yeah, I know tweaking.
He was tweaking. Yeah, he was tweaking. I get it. Yeah.
We'll put tight.
What?
Tight.
Tight? All right, I got that one.
How about bougie?
B O U J
Oh, is that how you J-E-E?
E bougie. Love that. That's how you spell it. That's great.
Did you think it was?
Oh, you can put facts.
Just read
Fast.
Facts.
Fat. Spell it.
F-A-C-T-S. Facts.
Oh, facts. Got it.
You could put corn.
Corn. I like that. It's because I know what corn is, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sway.
Sway.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to stop here, and then I'm going to bring this back to Giselle's point. If I'm working with young people, and they're using these words around me, and I don't know what the words mean, you could be having a whole conversation behind my back, and I wouldn't know. That's a problem. It's also a problem because, hey, you're saying something and I'm trying to be relevant and I'm trying to speak on your level and we're speaking a different language, so we're going this way. And so that's a problem. Your question, if you came in with an idea, wonderful, great, we love that. It's probably going to change. We're going to tweak it a little bit, but that's a totally different word, use of the word, right? I think. But if you don't have it, we've got to get to a problem. You've got to. It's your job. We can help you identify a problem, but there's got to be a problem, which is my dog's hair never stops growing. They never stop getting dirty. Their fingernails never stop growing, and they're a dog, and so they're always running in the mud. So my dog's getting dirty. They need to be groomed and bathed. You have a clear problem that you're solving, okay? And there might be some additions to that problem, like it's really hard to get there. A lot of people cancel their appointments, so we're doing a mobile service where we go to you, which is something that I remember you talking about. It's a great problem. As for the fact that you had to do this competition thing and talk about your business, the expectation is not that you had a business, it's just that this is a competition that asked you to have a business by December 15th and you had to get there. So the expectation is not that you've got it right now, but we're moving in the direction of, if you don't have an idea, then you've got to come to us with a problem that you're looking to solve. I can't give you your problem. I got enough problems of my own. I can share some problems with you, and if you respond passionately to that problem and you want to solve it, great. But you've got to be out in the world tripping over things, going, why am I still tripping over this thing? Why am I still why can't I figure out which corner of the bed sheet to put on which corner of the bed? How is this still an issue? How is this still a problem, and how can I solve it? How am I seeing girls still walking around in pink shirts and boys still walking around in blue shirts when they're 2 years old, and we're talking about a whole new society in which we're trying to challenge the idea of gender? So why am I still seeing this stuff? Because there's this whole multi-billion-dollar world of gender non-binary clothing in which they're playing with colors and putting dinosaurs on girl shirts and trucks on boy shirts and switching them all up and trying to make things different. So there's all these problems out there that you can be working with, but I don't know which one gets you most excited. And so you've got to be in this world looking for problems. I know that's not the answer to your problem, but it is part of the solution of you've got to be looking for those problems. Or, to go back to that feasibility piece, looking at what you have access to today that you can match up together in terms of skills, knowledge, network, resources, so you could do something tomorrow, next week, based off of what you have. And so it's a long way of saying we'll get there, but if a problem's not at the center of what you're doing, then we're going to struggle, okay?
And I'll have a great example of that. So we had a student in class didn't know what she wanted to do her business on. Like it literally changed every 2 weeks. She'd come in with a new 30-second pitch on a new product, new service that she wanted to do. She did boots with like a zipper on, so you could zipper them down to be shoes, and then also you could put this other piece on, so it was boots. She had 4 or 5 different things, but she always had this green bracelet on. So one day she gave me like, oh, I don't like that idea either. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what I should be doing for my business. And I'm like, what's that bracelet that you always wear? She goes, oh, this green represents Lyme disease. And I have Lyme disease, and my mom's had Lyme disease for 20 years. She's actually been in bed for the last 3 years. She can't even barely walk most days because of Lyme disease. So me and my mom, we make these bracelets, and we sell them online, and then we donate some of the funds to the Lyme Disease Foundation. That's really helped our family financially because it's been so debilitating. She lost hearing, 80% of her hearing in her right ear from Lyme disease. She's making green bracelets. So it was just connecting that. Like, this is something you're really passionate about. You just talked to me more in 5 minutes about something than any of these 5 business ideas that you've had. And she started making Lyme, Chelsea's Charms, I think she called them. Green Lyme disease bracelets. That took her to a $1,500 competition. That she won that. She ended up working with one of the professors that's doing research on Lyme disease at URI. Just really well connected through that one thing that she didn't even connect her passion, interest, personal story to creating a business. So it can be as simple as that, but simple, I said it today at your orientation, we'll say it a lot in this class, is not always easy. If you think, and I said it then, I'm going to say it now, this is kind of the time of year, point in class where we start pushing this, that this is going to work because you come here for 2 hours, even if you have an idea. That's not how it works. It's a college level course. In college, they say 2 hours for every 1 hour in class. Now, we don't have that kind of expectation here, that we can still get you through this curriculum. But if we're not seeing you outside of class, which is Monday, Wednesday afternoons, all day Tuesday and Friday, Tuesday and Thursdays, you probably won't get there. Or where you want to be, or where you think you can be, absolutely where we think you can be. So if you don't believe it right now, you can believe that we believe. We know it can happen. So that's my plug, that's my soapbox, so to speak, if it sounds like a lecture. Because if we're not seeing you outside of class at this point, with the things that we're asking you to do, it will not get easier. So, that's it.
No, it's a good point. Yeah. I mean, it's that time of the year now.
And the more we hear you in class, that probably took a lot of courage. No one else was saying, hey, I'm not so sure I'm where I'm supposed to be. I don't even have an idea. Like, we should be hearing more from you than you're hearing from us. And that's, if you start feeling that uncomfortability or push a little bit, it's intentional. So we don't know, no secrets. We're not trying to hide something from you. It's just really the flow of what we're getting to.
Giselle thinks that she has a problem because she has too many ideas. So let's play off what Brandon did on the board. This is an invitation. Write down your ideas. Bring them to us. Just grab us someplace. Bring them. Don't write down your whole idea, because you know what they are. Write down running shoes, hair gel, window panes, whatever, neckties. I'll tell you what neckties are if you write that down, right? And just bring them to us, and so running shoes, go ahead. What are you thinking about with running shoes? No, forget that. We won't say forget it, but you'll have to expand on the idea a little bit, right? And then you'll tell us hair gel. So let's compare those two. So just write down a list of one word that will remind you about the idea that you want, the ideas that you want to talk about. And then just grab us.
Yep. It's that simple. It's not easy, but it's that simple. See us outside of class with your list of ideas. In class is to get you thinking. Out of class is when we get the real work done. So let that marinate, let that sink in, because it's really where the work gets done. And you know where to find us. We're here. We're here. Who here knows what it means to be kept in the dark? I'm in the dark. What does it mean?
Like to not be informed.
To not be informed, right? Teachers, we're always in the dark based off of what you guys are talking about. We can't figure it out. I got an idea. It solves the problem. The fact that teachers are always in the dark based off of the new words you're all using. Every month, the lit candle company. What's it mean to be lit? If I say something's lit, what do I mean?
It's turned. Oh.
It's turned. If I say something's turned, what does it mean?
It's fun.
What?
Fun.
It's fun. It's what else? It's good. So if I had the lit candle company, and the lit candle company has been keeping you out of the dark since 2017, and every month I send teachers a new candle for them to burn at their homes to calm down after the long, stressful days of teaching young people. And each month we put a new word that all the kids are using, right on the outside label. So it's a little play on lit because that's like the word. And then each month we teach you a new word that you can use in front of your class for them to laugh in your face and go, you shouldn't really be using that word. We don't like when you say stuff like that. But anyhow, I'm making it up, I'm joking with you, but there's a problem there. There's a problem at the center. The question is the problem big enough, and is someone willing to pay for you to solve it?
I am.
There you go. He's
Sell me
in.
those candles.
So, by the way, we got a whole candle lab. Anybody wants to make that business, it could probably happen by Friday. I'm just saying. You could have your prototype done by Friday. Should we transition to ROI, or should we go into pitch problems? Let's go around the room and...
Yeah, I mean, we've got to get that figured out.
We gotta get
before
that
the
chart.
holiday. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing.
So Friday, I mean.
Yeah.
So let's deviate from our plan and let's go down Giselle's path because this is a good one. Right now, gut instinct. What problem are you solving? What problem are you solving, or what problem do you want to solve? You got a bunch of ideas. Let's bring forward in a class discussion right now and let's talk it through. What is the problem you're solving? What is the problem you want to address? Maybe you don't have a solution yet, but what's the problem? So you always say, okay, I'm doing 3D printed keychains, right? I don't know what the problem there is. I don't know what the unmet need is. I don't know why I need you to 3D print me keychains, why I don't just go buy keychains on my own. So let's talk through in this class, what is the problem you are seeking to solve? You have lots of problems.
Yeah.
Volunteer one problem. What's one problem you've noticed out there in the world?
All the amount of like binary conforming clothing.
Oh, we're going with that one, huh?
Yes, yes.
Binary conforming clothing. Give me a second. This is a really good erase.
Because I think about it a lot.
Anybody write down all of those vocab words?
Binary
Because I want to know.
conforming
You could just write binary
clothing.
though that sounds like code.
So, who here knows what we mean by this? Binary conforming clothing. Traditionally, you're at a baby shower, there's pink all over, what are you having, girl or a boy? If there's blue all over, what are you having? Boy. These are reinforcing stereotypes that have been going on for a long ass time, okay? And there are some people out there, a growing body of people who say, why don't we pump the brakes on this and why don't we rethink some of this stuff? Why don't we not put Barbie dolls on shirts for girls and why don't we not put Tonka trucks on shirts for boys? Why don't we let kids decide what it is that they're interested in? Why don't we challenge some of this stuff? So what about a pink shirt with a Tonka truck on it? It's as simple as that to challenge this, and I'm telling you right now, there's a multi-billion-dollar industry growing around this idea. Okay? So this is a great problem. Now the solution is, we've just named a few of them, but knowing what you know, who can give me a solution based off of what you have access to right here in this building? What could you do tomorrow to start addressing this problem? I kind of just talked about some of them. So it really shouldn't be that interesting, or really, yeah.
You personally wear pink if you're a guy.
Okay, so you personally wear pink, and then give me the, so what are you doing in terms of business and entrepreneurship? In this building right now, what could you do?
Oh, you're changing gentrification.
Gentrification.
No, gender.
Different thing. Yeah, gender. No, but so talk to me. My specific question is based off of what is in this building, the tools that you have in this building right now. Tell me what you can do.
Start selling like all different kinds of colors to whoever? Like if
It's a little too broad. Give me
like we
specific.
have shirts and stuff
Yup.
in the print shop.
We
so
have shirts and
could-
stuff in the print shop. Yep, keep
yeah,
going.
so we could like I don't know, like sell a pink shirt to a boy or something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of just being broad.
Build off of it.
You can use the print shop and design.
Louder.
What?
You can use the
That
print-
confidence. Use that confidence word. I know you're throwing it. It's all good.
You can use the print shop to like put different designs that have no gender. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say?
I do. And what I'm asking you to do is just essentially state that you could walk into the print shop.
How much would that cost?
That's a great question. There's a guy in the print shop right now who would be happy to tell you that. You could walk out of this classroom right now, or rather at 12 o'clock, and you could ask, how much would it cost for me to make a pink shirt with a Tonka truck on it? How much would that cost, and can I sell that? And then could I go to some market, maybe the Full Moon Market that just happened this Sunday, which the entire basis of the entire market was challenging these exact ideas. And so you go to that place where this is the idea, and you create a product for that. Yeah.
I sold at the Full Moon Market.
Yeah, he said
You
that.
sold at the Full Moon Market? That's great. Amazing.
What did you
How'd
sell?
you do?
I only
Talk
had,
louder. What did you sell and how did you do?
I had a few products because I found about it like 2 days before. So I only sold a shirt and a jacket.
Yep.
But I only had like 6 products with it.
Okay. So you sold, so a different way, so he said I only sold 2 things. Well, he had 6 things. So the best way to say it is I sold out 33% of my inventory. Man, it was a great day. 33% of my inventory disappeared that day. All right, so now, give me another problem that you are looking to solve. Tell me about your problem. Hold on, let's hear from somebody in this classroom. Don't get them off the hook yet. I like that. Problem.
Authenticity in restaurants.
Authenticity in restaurants. So what does that mean? And so as we
Who
do
said
this,
that? Girl with the cold, and I heard her all the way over here. No more excuses.
so if you're zoning out right now, you shouldn't be. And if you think this is specific to Carla's business, it's not. So authenticity in restaurants, who here understands why that's a problem? Raise your hand if you understand why this is a problem. And I mean this seriously. I don't understand that as a problem yet, but I think there's something to it. So why don't we build on this? What do you mean by that?
So basically, let's say you go out to get tacos, they're like Americanizing it. So they have like mystery meat. I'm gonna call it mystery meat because have you been to Taco Bell?
No, yes, a long time ago.
Mystery.
Yeah.
So basically, they have like mystery meat that they call beef, and then like a flat paper thin excuse for a tortilla.
A flat, paper thin excuse for a tortilla. So what's the so I get the mystery meat. I can see why that's coming down to a problem area. What's the real problem?
So the problem is that the Americanized version is starting to be like what they think actual authentic Hispanic food would be.
It's offending culture.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's offending culture. I buy that, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And Taco Bell, well, it doesn't, but Taco Bell tastes good, right? I'm hungry, Taco Bell tastes good, and I'm not really that concerned about culture right now. I'm just kind of trying to get a fast dinner.
But
And so,
if you try the real thing, Taco Bell will taste disgusting to you.
okay, so once you try the real thing, Taco Bell will taste disgusting. So is the problem that people don't understand?
Like I wanna like give people that home cooked feeling and like give them the experience of a different culture.
Okay, so experience.
Have you ever been to California Taco?
Yeah. Why do you bring that up?
Because I'd rather go there than to go to Taco Bell.
Why?
Because it's more like it's real food.
Okay, so it's real food. So I'm hearing, I always say this to people, right? It's real food, and they look at me and they go, it's real food, I can eat it. What do you mean by real food?
It has actual nutritional value to it.
Okay, so there's nutritional value to it. So are you telling me that this stuff is not?
Like Taco Bell, like their meat, like I don't know how to explain it. Their meat is just oil.
It's like not real. Like it's
It's
not.
not.
real.
It's probably
It's
not
processed.
even real meat, and it's just oil meat.
They get like frozen plastic bags just filled with it.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so now you're talking to me about processed food. And now I'm starting to think, okay, there's a problem here. I don't know what I'm eating. It's not nutritious. It's not authentic. It's not good for me. So these are some of the problems that are authenticity in restaurants. If I'm just thinking around culture and saying, oh, it's not good for culture because, okay, but that's not enough for me. It is one piece of it. It's not enough. What are some of the negative consequences or negative side effects? Well, it's processed food. Processed food's full of what? GMOs, preservatives, salt, cancer. Did you say? It's carcinogenic. One of those words. I think I put an extra N in there. Carcinogenic. There you go. And so now all of a sudden you're telling me it's not authentic, but now you're also telling me, and it's also really bad for you.
Yes.
And so are you going to solve that?
Yep.
How are you going to solve it?
Gonna like actually buy fresh produce, know where I get my meat from. My customers are gonna know that the meat they're eating is actually meat and not like some processed whatever.
Great. So there's this word in this, you got a hand?
Yeah.
What do you got?
What would you do for a competitor, for example, like Chipotle? Because they have good ingredients, like they make it a point in their policy to have like fresh ingredients where you know where it comes from, but also they culturally appropriate the hell out of like real Mexican food.
I mean, they get caught up in like a scandal where their food was like there was something wrong with it,
E. coli.
with CDC or something like that. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a long time ago.
Yeah, when I think of that, I think of E.
I want
coli.
to freshly make the food, not just have it up there like
Just try it.
a little taco bar. Like I want to like make it and then serve it. Like it's more fresh. you
Yeah,
know?
because then if it's been sitting there.
If
then-
it's been sitting there, the meat gets like kind of dry. Like you want like
Flies on.
yeah, it's really gross. You want like your meat like fresh off the grill, nice and like juicy, not like some dry cut up thing that's just there.
Big problem.
Why don't you share?
So I think where we began was authenticity in restaurants is lacking. And then what we did is we started to look at what are the actual, so by the way, when authenticity is lacking, the food doesn't taste as good. Just, when I go to eat, I'm looking for good flavor, I'm looking to get filled up. So the food, one, just doesn't taste as good. People need to understand that. Two, it's not as good for you, right? It's not as nutritious. It doesn't fill you up as long. It makes you feel bloated and tired after you eat it. So there's all these different things that are problems within the fact that this is lacking. How you then solve that and communicate your value is a whole nother conversation. But I like where you're going in terms of if this is the problem you're solving, give me or if this is the big problem, give me all the little consequences in between. Who else has a problem? I'm going to hear from everybody. Lack of authenticity in restaurants. Gender conforming clothing.
Cosmetic brands don't have enough shades for different skin tones.
Cosmetic brands don't have enough shades for different skin tones.
Yeah, that would
Who here seconds that problem? Who here has experienced that problem? Yes?
It's not even the skin tone. Sometimes it's the undertones.
Yeah, exactly.
Say that again?
It's the undertones sometimes too.
The undertone.
So some people have red undertones, some people have yellow
Pink,
undertones.
yellow.
Pink undertone.
Yeah, people have pink undertones too.
Oh, and then there's also like whether or not it's suitable for different skin types.
Yeah.
So like if it's dry or oily or combination. Yeah.
Okay.
And price.
Price. So what's the problem when you say price?
That some, if they do have a lot of shades, are very expensive, which makes it harder for some to get.
Okay. So accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
Sean's shaking his head over there going, I've been saying this. I've been saying this for years now. So what scares you about this problem? Is anybody scared of this problem? I'm kind of scared of a few of them, but what scares you about this problem?
It's touchy.
Sure. Bigger than that.
It's expensive.
It's expensive to experiment with shades, yeah.
If the oils in it damage your face if they're too oily.
Okay, so you're putting cosmetic stuff, acne, it's a sensitive marketplace, no pun intended, if you will. I mean, making stuff that goes on the skin. My thing right here is, and this is where you're gonna have to challenge me and a lot of investors, and I'm looking at you going, really? This seems like an obvious problem to me. Not enough skin tones. So, one, do I believe your problem? I wouldn't know. Do I believe you that this is a real problem? This seems obvious to me. Why haven't they solved it? And two, if you are correct in your problem, which I buy it, Maybelline, Sephora, massive companies, how have they not tackled this? How are they not solving this? How have they not addressed this problem yet? So I'm afraid of the big guys, right? I'm afraid of that because I don't know why this hasn't been tackled yet. This is with all problems, so I'm just using this for this example. Under skin tone, skin type. So the question is now how do you go and address this? But I think this is a real problem. And what I would do is, I think this is a good point in the conversation to pull back. When you come up with a problem, you now research that problem. Am I the only crazy person in the room that is experiencing this? Or are there others who are experiencing this as well? And so take a moment. How would we go investigate these problems? What would be some ways of investigating these problems? Let's take this example. So I'm going to ask you to do this for your problem. You come to me with a problem, I'm going to send you out to go do this. What am I going to ask you to do? So I'm going to ask you to survey. So this is what we would call primary research. Before I even have you go out on a survey, create a survey, hustle a survey, find 100 people to take your survey, spend all that time doing that, tabulating results. What am I going to have you do before the primary research? Which that's what that is. It's a great suggestion. What else?
Look at the competitors.
So you can look at the competitors. It's a great one. So look at what's already out there. So you can do a little competitive landscape. Who's doing what in this space? Is my problem already solved? Have I Googled it? Have I looked? So I'm going to ask you, okay, are there somebody doing that has made many skin tones with who's doing it? That's great. So you're going to go do a survey later. You're going to look at your competition. What else are you going to do? I'm hearing from the same people. Let me hear from people who I haven't heard from, please. If you're thinking that this is specific to cosmetics, it's not. I'm asking you for your business. So you're going to validate your problem. How are you going to do it? You're going to go do a survey, potentially. You're going to go look at competition to see if other people are doing what you're doing. Here's a question. If other people are doing what you're doing, do you do it?
Better.
Do it better, yeah.
You do it better. You do a different spin on it. You can tweak it around the edges. You can find some area where you can deliver a better quality, a better value, something. But just because somebody's doing it doesn't mean you go, oh, look, it's already been done. It means that the problem's real, somebody's out there working on it, and you can outwork them. There's something bigger than this. I mean, it's really straightforward and simple. There's secondary and primary research. Primary research is Carla going out there. Secondary research is going out and looking for the competition, but also doing what? Reading what, though? And you're right, but reading what?
Articles and books and
You should be looking for articles. You should be looking for blog posts. You should be looking for blog posts. And once you get on those blog posts, where should you be going on those blog posts? The comments section. You're going to find a lot of trash there. If anybody's ever read comment sections, you know that people, because they're behind the screen, they can say any stupid thing that they want. They can just be mean and bully, right? But there's also some people who take that stuff very seriously and will start to bring their problems out. One of the best things you can do is go look at comment boards. Go look at what people are saying in response to company starts new line of products where skin tones run from the rainbow, right? I don't know. And then all these people down below say, I absolutely love this idea. I would purchase this. This has been a problem that I've had since I was 13 years old. I can't believe nobody's done this before. You start to collect all those things and you say, there's like a lot of people out there who are thinking just like I am. And it validates your problem. And then you come to somebody like me who says, it can't be. Maybelline has to have figured this out. You're crazy. They figured this out. They're too big not to have figured this out. I got 50 people right here saying that they haven't figured it out, right? And I'm sure there's a lot more than just those 50 people. So you're going to comment boards, you're looking for articles, you're looking for blog posts. Maybe you're getting a book on it. I'd love for you to read a whole book on the damn thing. That'd be great, right? What else? What else can you do?
Talk to people.
Talk to people. So there's there's primary research where you're going out and doing a survey, and then there's things called focus groups. You don't really need to do a focus group. You don't need to get 10 people together and ask them a bunch of very specific questions. You could do that, but you could just start talking to people. Now, here's the deal. This is going to sound a little obvious, but we'll use the cosmetic. Who are you going to go talk to? You going to come talk to me? You're going to talk to your potential or your target market, people that fit the description of who you think your ideal customer would be. We're going to get to more of what that means, but in your mind, you have a vision of what your customer looks like. And you would go find those people and talk to them. Does this problem make sense to you? Tell me more about this problem. Okay? So that's just like a backup on once you have the problem, and as Nick said, you start writing down some of these ideas. If you go and talk to other people about these problems and come to us, we're going to have a much more fruitful conversation. Who else has got a problem? You all got a problem. Yeah.
There's not really, it's like a lack of meaning in clothing design and, yeah.
A lack of meaning in clothing design. So Liam was brave enough to represent all of the fashion people, because all you fashion people weren't going to raise your hand. Because James saying, I was raising my hand. What do you got? Let's combine some problems. All the fashion people speak up.
It's like related to what Liam said. Like, people should be able to add their own personal touch to their clothing and apparel.
James is doing something important right now. He's doing you're jumping to the solution. We don't want to do that. It's an important example because that's the fun part. Let's jump to the solution. What's the problem? So you gave me a cool solution, but what are you actually solving? So you're saying there's not enough meaning in clothing. I would say there's too much meaning in clothing. But I'm not your target customer. You're saying, what's the problem? What's your problem?
I don't know, I don't necessarily know.
Speak louder for me.
I don't know what the specific problem is. It's just like what I said, like, people should be able to have access to something where they can go on, like, I don't know, like a website or an app, and they can sit down and create their own clothing or apparel, whatever they want, and have their own personal touch or idea on it.
Okay, so you want to give people the opportunity to put their own personal touch and bring their ideas to life. Help me define a problem around the solution that you're bringing to me. You're obviously responding to something. But I've got to know what the issue is that you're responding to. Why are people going to come to use your stuff? What's the problem? Who here has an idea for a t-shirt? Who here has an idea for a t-shirt that they want to get made? Who here has made a t-shirt with their idea? Most of the people raising their hand had an idea for a t-shirt and got their t-shirt idea made. So do I buy your problem or do I buy your solution? You're saying I'm going to give a place for people to do this stuff and get their ideas out there. But a lot of people are saying, yeah, I had an idea and I got it done. So what's the issue?
People want their personality in clothes.
People want their personality in clothes?
To reflect their clothing, they want their personality to be reflected off their clothing.
Who here feels like there's not enough clothing options out there for you to express yourself? You feel like there are not enough clothing options out there to express yourself.
I feel like the fashion market is like, it's damaged at the hands of the consumers.
It's what?
It's damaged at the hands of the consumers.
What do you mean by that?
Because at the end of the day, I always see myself as, instead of being someone that's going and spending like $1,000 on, say, a certain particular clothes, like a certain piece of clothing, I would rather just invest my own money in making clothing that's meaningful to me. Like, so when I put it on my body, I know what it represents. And I feel like nowadays, like the younger markets, they don't know how to. They kind of like tend to lean towards the fads and not like meaningful clothing to them. So they might necessarily go towards the T-shirt that their whole classroom is talking about, instead of getting a T-shirt that's just meaningful to them and it means something to them when they wear it, and it says something about them on their persona, on their person.
So if what you're telling me is young people follow fads, and there's a bunch of fad clothing out there, what's the issue? What's the problem?
There's nothing showing them that there's anything else.
Say it louder.
There's nothing showing them that there's anything else.
There's nothing showing them that there's anything else. I can just think of all the ways that you all find out lots about. I mean, social media comes to mind in terms of, I think you see too much stuff. Probably overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that you see.
So I'm gonna take this as a prime example. I did not buy this. My brother did. He gave it to me. So this is a windbreaker that cost $100 just because it has this little Nike thing, and just if this wasn't here, this probably been probably $50 more cheaper. But with this little logo, whatever you call this, it increases the price, and it's just a brand that's just right here. I want to do something. I kind of actually want to get rid of this and put something like a design on this windbreaker, so it can have a meaning to it. So this is not a meaning. It's just a brand that's higher skyrocket, and just we're just gonna make a bunch of money for something so small. And I'm not sure. I think many people do. They want people to have how should I say? They want people to have the the expression. I'm trying to figure out the expression to do your design on your clothing, because you don't get. I don't know. To me, everything needs to have a meaning, for clothes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's tough, isn't it? You fashion people, man. It's tough for you. It's tough to try to verbalize this. So, I'll see. Tell me how you respond to this. One, you're telling me that this costs $100, shouldn't cost $100, got a Nike sign. I'm wondering what Jody's thinking. I feel like Jody's mind is thinking, but you're wearing it. But you have it, because that's what I'm thinking in my, but you're wearing it. And somebody bought it. But we've talked about the roots of opportunity in this classroom. And so there are other roots of opportunity other than, let's say, just a problem. Problems are fantastic. Somewhere at the core, there always is a problem. But you can get to the problem through a trend. Your generation has been called the cult of selfie. Okay? The cult of self. Everybody's very much interested in themselves and their ideas and what they represent. And they express themselves on their own individual social media platforms in a way that nobody's ever been able to do ever before. So you all have gotten used to finding the exact perfect angle, okay? To make yourself look exactly as you want and send that out to the world, okay? So there's this cult of selfie, and all of a sudden, now what you're telling me is we've gotten so excited by ourselves. We're so excited that we're our own brand. For the first time, I'm my own brand, and I can broadcast my brand out to the world. So there might be a trend that says, if I'm hearing correctly, and I have no idea, this is when you do the research and you find the people supporting and giving you documentation of this. I got an idea. Are other people thinking like this? Maybe your generation is starting to move away from big brands. Maybe they're starting to say, you know what? Nike, I'm good with that. Adidas, I'm good with. Reebok, I'm good with that. Supreme, I'm good with that. I feel like that's not happening right now, right? But maybe I'm going to Supreme lifestyle brand because I'm not trying to be with the big box, big brands like Nike. Now I'm going to this other one. And now maybe the next thing that's going to happen is I'm my own brand, man. I'm my own brand. And now we need to create a platform for people to create and express themselves in a way that is 100% identical and representative of who they are. And everybody's their own brand, and everybody has the ability to wear their stuff, get linked to a website to sell what it is that they represent. And if you get on board with what I have to represent, you could be in China for all I care. If you find me on social media, you can purchase it, because the world is flat now. And I can sell, truly. The world's flat. You can actually go out there and reach anybody all around the world. That's what I mean by that. It's really a sphere.
Science is kind of starting to say otherwise.
Wow, this one.
That's another conversation.
That's another conversation.
What?
Yeah, please.
NASA uses digitally created images.
Who thinks this is a good idea, this individualized clothing? Yeah? Do you? Look, everybody. Gabriel just walked out. I don't know what Gabriel's opinion is, right? Hold your hands up if you think this is a good idea. Yeah. Put your hands down if you're not wearing black. No, you're wearing black, you're wearing black, you're wearing black, he's wearing black, you're wearing black. So half of you are wearing black. Oh, and there's some blue shoes.
No,
black
socks. Does that
Okay.
count?
So this is a little bit of primary research. Do you really think this is important? Oh, that's a rhetorical question. I don't expect an answer. But while you're all talking about individuality, I see 50% of you are wearing black.
Who here is wearing a major brand? I'm struggling to understand, my friends. I'm 50% wearing black, most of the room wearing a major brand, with that major brand being represented directly on the garment, right? For all the world to see. Yeah.
So I'm not, personally, I'm not opposed to like brands. I don't have anything against big brands as long as there is something behind them.
What's something?
Some level of meaning.
How do you define that meaning?
Like an artistic side of what they
Exactly. It's not just like a random thing that somebody made to sell.
Like, for example, the reason why I wear Supreme is because they collab with artists. They recently made a collab with an artist. I forgot his name, but people were really mad at what he drew. I'm not gonna get into it because it had to do with religion. And then their box logos. There's different type of box logos, not just one little Supreme symbol on a white tee. They made collabs where they show like the background of New York City, where they have like different type of designs, collab with Louis Vuitton, and do a bunch of different things. So, like, in a way, how Supreme used to be a skate brand. I used to skate when I was like 8, and I stopped recently. And I just always stuck with it because it was like part of my culture, the clothing behind it. When everyone used to think about Supreme, they think about skaters. I was a skater, so I stuck with that category.
You see how so necessarily you used to wear Supreme because it was a lifestyle and of some sort to you.
Yeah.
But nowadays I feel like as you see how he could give reasoning for what made it what that brand kind of represented it as his life. Nowadays I feel like kids, they just get the clothing for what it could say about them to others. So I feel like the world would be a much better place instead of, Layla, you got a Hilfiger shirt on. I like the Hilfiger shirt. If you had the platform where kids could go personalize their own clothes more, it would be like, say I might have seen Layla in another universe where instead of a Hilfiger shirt on, you have a Layla shirt on. But now I'm not complimenting you on your style, your choice of clothing. It's more your creativity. So now you're wearing your own self in a way. So now it gives you that piece of that when you get complimented on your own ideas now, instead of just having a shirt on by another major brand that everybody wears because that's the thing. Now you're getting complimented on your own ideas and your creativeness, and that makes you feel better about yourself. So I feel like we were speaking about it last class, how I feel like the real problem is kids, they kind of generally go towards what's in style because they don't know who they are as their own person. So for you, Brandon, to get a nice shirt, and for that shirt, you know that you're paying for, you know the appropriateness to pay for quality, and you're not paying for it because it got a big Nike sign on it. And I feel like that's the problem between someone that's like a market like you for type of clothing, and then a market like us that for the same hat that you said is $8 with no brand on it, we'll pay like $40 just because there's a Nike check on it. So then I feel like that would be the platform where kids could put their own stuff on that hat. So now you're wearing your own brand. That alone makes you feel better that you're wearing your own stuff now. Then on top of that, you're getting complimented on your own stuff. You're not getting complimented on somebody else's stuff. So I feel like that's the problem that you could kind of address is like the personalization with their own clothing.
People aren't being. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna pause. We gotta change out the SD card in the camera. Take a quick break. In the fashion world, there are real problems. You gotta like sort of hone in on what is the measurable problem. Man, there's just not enough clothes out there for me. I mean, I hear that and I just go, wait, what? There's like, there's too many. Actually, that's what, I mean, it's called the paradox of choice. There's so many things to choose from that I'm gonna step back. I don't know what to wear anymore. I gotta pick between 3 things, it becomes a lot easier. Let's move off of fashion. You guys have a tall order in front of you. That was the fashion discussion. There are real problems, find them. What else we got? Problems, problems, problems. Jenzy, what do you got? You got a problem. It's that I just called on you.
But it's related to fashion.
Oh, it's related to, oh, I forgot that.
Is it?
Yeah.
She's got a fashion business, but do you have a problem related to fashion? Yeah, you do actually. Let's hear it.
Lack of confidence in dresses.
Full sentence. Give me more.
Like a lot of women have trouble with their self-esteem when they wear a dress.
Jesse, I can't hear you. Say it again for me. A lot of women
have trouble getting confidence when wearing a dress, that it's uncomfortable. Wearing in their bodies.
So many, I'm going to say it loud and proud for you, all right? And then you're going to say it back for everybody. Many women struggle to find a dress that allows them to feel confident when wearing it. Is that fair? Did I hear you correctly? That's I mean, I don't know if it's true. We would have to poll the women. We'd have to go look online. You'd have to bring me some sources. But if I'm in the fashion world, now I got a target market, I got a specific product that I'm going after, and I know what I'm trying to solve, which is lack of confidence. And so if I make 5 prototypes, I put them on 50 different women, and say, how do you feel? Oh, I feel 10 times more confident wearing this than I felt wearing that. Oh, you mean I solved your problem? That's a real problem. I'm not saying you guys don't have real problems. We just haven't figured out the problem statement in which you say, and by the way, you have, I'm just challenging it.
Yeah.
There's not enough clothes to express myself. Crap. I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if I buy it. Maybe more specifics among the 13 to 18-year-old market in whatever. I don't know. What else? So I will buy this problem. I will say, so Jenzy, do you have supporting materials to tell me that this is true?
Not really.
Will you on Friday?
Yes.
Absolutely you will. Absolutely you will. What else? I got someone at the middle of the table that has a nope, where are you looking? Where are you looking? You got a fantastic problem. You got a great problem. What's your problem?
My problem is that people make appointments for their dogs to be groomed and then they cancel it because they can't make it because they're too busy and they need to go to work.
How do you know that's a problem?
Because at my internship, it happens all the time. They ask to reschedule because they can't make it.
I love this problem. Who here is excited by this? Who here hears a problem? Like, do you hear a problem there? Wait, people cancel their appointments? I know they cancel their appointments because, I work at a place where they do it. And why do they cancel them?
They have to go to work.
They have to go to work. Well, didn't they know they had to go to work when they made the appointment? So what gives? Do they not respect your time?
They just they can't make it. They get caught up.
They get caught up. So some unexpected things. Here's what I would want to know. What would I want to know? What would Brandon the investor, Brandon the entrepreneurship teacher want to know? regarding this problem. Someone ask a probing question on this problem.
How can you fix it?
Nope, let's not go to solution yet. Carla asked, what'd you ask? Say it louder.
How can you fix it?
I love that Carla's speaking and asking questions, but that's not what I want to know yet.
Don't people cancel appointments all the time for everybody?
Yeah, but
They do?
But I want to know something specific from you.
what are your ideas to fix it?
Nope, I don't want to talk about solution. I want to define the problem. Ask a question that will allow us to define the problem more specifically.
Why is that a problem?
Why is that? Okay, so why is that a problem?
Why is it a problem? It's a problem because the more appointments you cancel, the less care your dog is getting, and say like their nails get so long, and then it just becomes health hazardous. Like,
So we got a health hazard problem. You went. I like that my dog groomer cares more about the dog first than she does about her own damn business. I love that about my dog groomer. That's great. I want you to talk to me about a problem for your business now. You went. That was a great answer because I'm thinking about the dog. That's what I want my dog groomer to do. But I want you to think as a business person, why is that a problem for you?
I'm losing money.
You're losing money. Every canceled appointment, not only do I lose money, but I could have had a spot there. I want to know something very specific from Marilyn. Restate your problem as you did, and then I want somebody to ask the right question. And I know that's terrible because all questions are right, but there's a question you got to drill right in on. What's your problem?
Working at the grooming shop that I work at, clients cancel their appointments because they can't make it there.
What question are you going to ask? What do you want to know? Crickets. Nothing. Nobody is interested in this problem. Everybody smiled, raised their hand, said, oh, this is a great problem. What?
Repeat it?
Yeah.
Okay. Clients cancel their appointments at the dog grooming shop because they can't make it for the scheduled time because of like work or something.
Is there like a certain time during the week where they cancel with more frequency?
No, it's like all different.
I like that question. Go a little less granular. You're right on the right. Go a little less specific. What?
Weekends.
These are good to find out when are the most canceled times.
When do they schedule the most appointments? Generally.
In the middle of the week.
In the middle of the week.
How much does each appointment cost?
Well, that's different. It depends on the dog.
What can you do? Like, can you instead of having that group?
You're going towards solution. Are you going towards solution? What can you do about it? No, I still want to know. So you kind of just ask, how much money do you lose every week? Kind of is what you're asking. How much money do you lose every week off of canceled appointments? I would love to know that.
Is it mostly big dogs or small dogs that always cancel?
It's all different dogs because it doesn't really matter if it's big or not. If they can't make it, then they can't make it.
Marilyn, what percentage of your clients cancel every week? I think I gotta know that. I think I have to know what percentage of your well, I went back to my books and it's 2%. Oh, so it seemed like a big problem to you, but when you actually went and did the math, well, that seems pretty in line. What if I told you that 35% of dog grooming clients cancel, and that industry average around service industry for all types of service stuff, hair appointments, nail appointments, doctor's appointments, what if the average cancellation was 10%? And Marilyn tells me 30% of my clients cancel, so I have a 3 times more cancellation rate in the dog grooming industry than I do other places. Now all of a sudden I got a problem, and I can identify and quantify, meaning put numbers to quantify how big this problem is. And now if I know you got 30% of your people canceling, and I know that you make $100,000 a year in revenue, well, that means that you could have made $30,000 more, if not more, of revenue had you not had those cancellations. Now we're starting to put numbers to the problem, and when you give your pitch, well, I can't dispute you now. A lot of people cancel their appointments. I don't know what your version of a lot is. A lot to you might be a little to me. I don't know. I might be a doctor who expects that 20% of my patients are going to cancel no matter what. You tell me a lot of my clients cancel, 10% of them. Half of what my clients are. Get out of here with your problem. If I find out that 5% of dog grooming things get canceled and I'm at 20%, you got a problem that's 4 times bigger. Now you can ask about solutions. Not now. But now that we define the problem and understand what's actually going on, if I was given the cake to the biggest problem in the room, the most clearly identified problem is I got people not showing up for appointments for their dogs. That's very clearly defined. And now you kind of gave the reason, but I'd love to know, why are they canceling? Does anybody follow up with a phone call and say, hey, no hard feelings, don't worry about it, we're just doing a little survey, and we'd love to know what got in the way for your appointment and what we could do to make it easier for you next time.
You could see how many of your clients do, like some of your clients sit there with their dogs, or do some of them feel comfortable leaving their dogs there?
Some people attempt to, but sometimes it just doesn't work out because the dog, if they see their owner there, they won't really be engaged with what they're supposed to be doing. But then there's some dogs that they just want their owner there, so the owner has to sit in the car, sit in the shop and let the dog know that they're there, so that the dog could engage. So it's different.
So there's a lot of variability in your problem, right? There's a lot of different things that are happening, a lot of different potential solutions, but what we do know is that there's a problem that people don't keep their dog appointments, and what we want to know next is, how big is the problem? Go talk to your internship. Go talk to those people, and they have the books. They know who came. All you got to do is look at 6 months worth of appointments, okay? Or Google it, and I bet you there's some great articles and great statistics out there specific to dog groomers. Okay, Marilyn, thank you. Next, I got problem. I heard about your problem. It's related to your industry. What's your problem?
There isn't enough natural products for.
I can't hear you.
Nick's problem is he can't hear you.
We got a big problem by 11:30 in class when you hear this just about with every person that talks. If you hear something from us, believe me, in class, it might not relate to your specific business, but it is about you. Pretty much everything we say or go over, you've got to take to the next level and say, how does this relate to me? Because it does. We should not say after everyone talks, what? So try again.
Didn't we do cheap seats? Did we do cheap seats?
We've done a lot. I don't know.
What are those? I don't think so.
At this point, yeah, we talked about cheap seats.
Remember.
We
Cheap
talked about
seats.
them. They're way up there.
Point to the cheap seats.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Huh? That's who we're talking to. We're talking to the people in the cheap seats. That's where the crowd is. There's only about 30 people sitting down here.
And you
Cheap
might feel the
seats.
heat right now like you're in a hot seat. But again, what we say is for everyone. So either you all should feel like you're in a hot seat, or you should not feel like it because you'd be like, okay, I have heard this during class. Now I'm going to speak up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
My problem is that there isn't enough people that find the right products for their type of skin or the type of hair, especially if it's natural products.
Okay. Everything you say is for the cheap seats, not just the beginning of the sentence, all the way through. I heard you that time. If I can hear you, it's a pretty good test. Tell everybody again, please.
Yeah.
There isn't enough natural products for people to use. If you have really dry skin, there's not a lot of stuff that works especially for you. Or if you have really dry hair, you're going through hair loss or something like that. There's not a lot of stuff that works for a lot of people.
Okay.
That's my problem.
So I have a similar concern to the concern I had for Layla. I struggle to believe you. But guess what? That's not a bad thing. What do I need you to do for me?
Find research.
I need you to back that up with people saying that. And I feel that there is something to that. Do you know that there's a store on North Main called Mix?
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I tried to get an internship there.
Yeah?
They never.
Okay, they didn't respond.
Yeah.
Have you been in?
No.
Go in. Because they're all about, I know that this is a problem. They're all about what you're doing. They mix your products personally for you in this retail environment. This is a growing industry. This is a real thing. But words like a lot, there's not enough, I can challenge that all day long because it's not specific. So your job to Giselle's first question in here, like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know if I have an idea. You have an idea. You now have to go back and start to look up research regarding your problem. State it again for me.
So not enough natural products for people, like that works for other people.
So
not enough natural products that works for people, like for different type of skin tones or different type of hair.
Right.
okay. So what I'd love to know is that 40% of men with long hair, Brian didn't even bat an eyelash. 40% of men with long hair say they can't find products that do this and this for them. Or 40% of men say there's not products that respond to this particular need. I want the needs, and it doesn't have to be men, it doesn't have to be long hair, but I want to know very specific, here's the issue that I'm trying to address, and here's how many people say they can't find a product that works for them. Okay? Gabriel. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Tommy Origami. We renamed Gabriel. His parents didn't know he was going to be an origami. They didn't name him Tommy. It was a big problem, but we're fixing it. Tommy Origami. What's your problem? Other than the fact that I'm not calling you by your real name.
But I think my problem is people spend too much on like art and stuff. Like they want to decorate their house, but they buy like really over expensive like decorations and stuff that they don't even use the next year and stuff like that.
And stuff like that. You trailed off. You trailed off. So people, art is really expensive?
No, like decorations in particular, but like also people who like to decorate or just make their room look nice are paying too much for stuff that they don't use the next day or it breaks really easily, like say like a glass sculpture or something like that. I kind of like saw that.
So I'm going to call BS. Okay? Because I don't know that you saying that glass sculpture's breaking is why you're in the origami world. I don't know that that's real. I think you might have a hunch. That's only one thing that you said, by the way, but that's what I'm zoning right in on. Because I'm not sure that you are responding or you're defining the right problem in this origami world. I think some of the stuff you're saying around artwork being expensive, decorations being expensive, maybe them not being custom, or you walk into somebody's house and wow, you have the exact same couch as me and we're best friends, and now people come over to our house and my house and they think we have all the same furniture because we can't think alike. That happened to my friend. He purchased my exact couch the other day and now we have the same couch, and people are going to think, what, that there's not enough couches out there in the world, right?
Why does it matter?
It doesn't actually matter to me. He's really self-conscious about it.
Oh wow.
Because I had it first. So it doesn't matter to me, but he thinks like he doesn't want to be a poser.
Oh dear God.
Right? No, seriously, he's like, man, I don't want you to think that I copied you. Yeah, he made a mistake.
Would you care if you bought it first?
We don't really actually care, but we do. He does care a little bit. I don't care. Again, I don't know. But here's the thing. I don't know. This is not your problem. I'm just saying, in the world of decorating, that was a problem I recently just had. What's the problem with origami that origami's solving? Does anybody want to help me out? Because I'm going to struggle on this one. Nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear you.
Two things, Gabriel. I can't hear you and I can't see your mouth. That will help me a lot.
Yeah, you got a thing. You put your hands in front of your mouth when you speak.
I'm not really solving a problem. It's kind of like some more wants than needs for my business.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Would your company make origami and sell it, or teach origami?
Both.
Do both. Okay. All right. Thank you.
How would you teach it?
Like me and my mentor, we sometimes we go to the zoos, like when there's no school. We go to like libraries and stuff. Sometimes we go to like people's houses or something like that, like invited and stuff.
birthday parties, I guess.
You have to provide some context because you're making it sound like you guys just randomly like walk up into people's houses. Like, why do you guys go to people's houses?
Like they sort of come to us and ask.
Let's do this. There's no wrong answers. What problem do you think Tommy Origami has that he's going out trying to solve? It can be anything. Hang on. He's going to make origami, teach other people how to make origami, right? Alright, we'll start with Liam. He put his hand up. But everyone's going, so start thinking. We're just going to go around the table. You can be as whacked off as you need to be, but just start thinking.
I feel like it's definitely a much more cost-effective way to decorate your house because. Like,
So
I
what
feel like
problem?
That's what you were trying
What's the problem?
It's really, like he was saying, it's really expensive to decorate your house.
Alright,
But-
there's one. It's expensive to decorate your house.
Wait, so would you be teaching like the culture or just how to do it?
I mean, I could teach the culture, but I kind of focus on like actually teaching them how to fold.
I mean, it can, people with anxiety need something to do.
There you go. People with anxiety need something to do.
You can teach kids that.
Louder.
Can't hear you.
Not a solution. What's the problem? I'm going to interrupt faster than you know.
Kids that don't know how to do origami and find it difficult to like get all done.
If you teach people how to do it, they won't want to buy it. Like, buy his, like me.
So what's the problem?
That he's going selling and people will just make it on their own if he doesn't know how to do it.
Say it again.
If he teaches like people how to do like make origami, no one would really want to buy it because they would already know how to make it themselves.
So is that the problem he's solving?
No.
What's the problem he's solving?
He could help. He can help decorate himself.
Solution. We're gonna come back to you. Think for a second. I'm gonna take you off the spot for a second. But problem, not solution for origami.
I feel like maybe kids will like tend to have really anxious. I don't know who said that. Somebody said that. Like, to help them calm down or something. I don't know.
So kids get really anxious. I heard this. You jumping on
I don't
that
feel
problem?
like it's really a problem. It's more like a want, like he said. Like it's just for decoration.
I can't hear you. I can't hear anybody.
Imagine
Can
how
you
I
hear
feel.
me? Can you hear me when I speak?
Yeah.
Do you ever have a problem hearing me? It's probably annoying at some point. I get it. I could have done this to anybody. I don't know why I'm choosing you. You're like, why are you choosing me? Let me hear you, okay? Louder. You can have the same problem, but say it in a different way.
To help kids. Who
That's
are
a solution. What's the problem?
I don't know. Like I don't think it's a problem. I think it's like it's a want.
What don't you think is a problem?
Like origami, making origami. I mean, I think it's a good business to like have it as a service to teach people and like sell it. But I don't find a problem.
Do you know how to make origami?
But I can learn. Like never mind.
No, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You could learn.
Like I could look up simply on Google how to make this and this origami.
Who needs Gabriel when YouTube has lots of origami videos? That's a problem. There's lots of origami videos online that teach you how to do it. So we don't need origami instructors. YouTube's his problem. Is that possible? Is that a possible problem that he's going to experience or face? Okay.
A problem for origami? A problem. Who are you? I don't know. Like, who are your customers gonna be? Because not that many people are so into it anymore. Or I don't know.
So what are you trying to? I mean, you're onto something. Who here is interested in origami? Raise your hand if you're interested. Raise your hand high. If you're interested in origami. Is there a problem? What's the problem?
Not that many people are interested.
Not many people are interested in origami. That's the problem. Could you solve that problem?
Maybe.
Maybe, probably. I bet you I could think of about 15 ways that Gabriel could make people interested in origami. But right now he's got a problem, which is 60, 70% of the people in the room aren't interested in origami.
Problem is, like, maybe all the people, maybe if that's the only solution that people can get is like watching videos on making origami, there might be somebody out there in the comments that maybe wants like a more like a hands-on, maybe like origami like lesson or something.
So what's the problem?
That there's not like you can find it making a connection with people who still want to learn origami. There's no market, honestly.
Do we know that?
Right now we don't.
We don't know. Connecting with people who are interested in origami might be challenging. I don't know. Is that the problem? Connecting with people, finding people interested in origami, it sort of builds off of this one.
Are you gonna charge people for the classes to teach them, or is it just gonna be free?
I never thought about that. Maybe. I don't know.
What?
Is this a business?
Yes.
Why don't you ask him that question again?
Are you gonna charge people for this?
Stop spinning in that chair,
Yes.
making us dizzy.
So now we're gonna charge people for this, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, I'm feeling better about your business, a little bit better about your business.
So now that you know he's going to charge people,
Well, like she said, YouTube. Like, why would I go and pay when I can just sit at home and do it myself?
okay.
So that's, I mean, I don't want to like say the same problem as her, but that is like a big problem. Like, how you, what's going to be like the incentive for me to come there and actually want to do it? Besides
Great.
Just learning how to do origami.
Why should I come to your class if I can go online and learn it myself?
There's no incentive.
Why should I go to the gym if I can do push-ups in my bedroom? Lots of people go to the gym, they can work out at home. So it's a problem, but we have found ways to solve the problem of, hey, I could do this on my own. I know how to do pull-ups and push-ups and sit-ups. It probably would be enough for me. But something about going to the gym, something about going to get a personal trainer, something about being in a room with other people, something about that makes me motivated or makes me more accountable. It's a great problem, but it's not, and this is the point. I feel like you all feel bad about saying problems regarding somebody else's business, when in actuality you're doing the biggest favor. I don't want to speak ill about origami, not a lot. You need to know the problems, right? You're shaking your head, no, I don't feel bad, right? I don't feel bad. Right, we gotta know the problems that exist. You gotta call them out. Hey, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there that teach origami. You got a problem. You gotta figure that out. Is it easy to learn origami on YouTube videos? Not really. It's really, here's a problem. It's really hard to learn origami off of a YouTube video where the camera only goes this one way. I can't see how you folded that. I don't know what happened in the front. Don't know what happened in the back. I missed that. I gotta go, back, forth, and you, yeah. I just can't see that fold.
You could do like isn't it like optical, the VR, kind of like VR.
Yeah, you guys love solutions. I know, you're a solution. I love it.
That would make me want to like seeing a video maybe with like you said, is because origami is more than one dimensional, so you want to see it from certain angles and stuff.
So it's hard for me to see what you're doing on a YouTube video that only has one camera angle. That's a problem. There's a problem.
Also, the lighting is bad. Like in my YouTube videos.
Yeah, I have a problem. My problem is a real problem. I can't hear anybody. Is there anybody in here who has a solution to I can't hear you? Does anybody have a little thing that you can turn up so I can hear you? Because my problem's real. I mean, I'll pay for a solution.
Can you make them a cone, an origami cone?
Fine, make me I don't care. Whatever it is.
What do you got? Not to interrupt Nick, but we really want to finish this out.
People want decorations for their house, but they can't get them personalized.
I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Woo! We're killing it there. Who's sick? Raise your hand if you're sick of hearing it. You're not sick of hearing it yet? Sick of hearing? Can I hear you, please? I can't hear you. Who's sick of hearing it? Sean's just sitting back like I'm tired of this, man. I have a real problem.
So what did you say?
I couldn't hear what he said.
So can you tell him, kid?
I said people want decorations for their homes, but they can't get them personalized like how they want it.
Okay.
Great.
Hi, Luna. So, a problem I would say is how there's a lot of people out there with like anxiety disorders, or just people who have a hard time focusing on things. And I think that that would be a really cool way for you to like potentially market your product. So to market it as something that is like therapeutic and helps people like on that side of the spectrum sort of find some peace, like some form of meditation. So
great.
I gave you my problem. Well, I'll give you another problem. I think that a lot of people here don't think that they can make origami. They see some of your designs that are super complicated and they say, yeah, that's awesome, but I could never do that. And they might not realize that it's totally accessible art form that they could do at home and make really cool things. So I think there's a lack of education and awareness around how accessible and fun origami could be for everybody and not just people who consider themselves to be really artistic. Because I see the stuff you make and you tell me it takes 6 minutes and I'm like, I would have said that took 6 days. So there's a disconnect between what people know and what people need to know to get involved into your craft. That's a problem I see.
I would kind of go back to Brandon's answer and say like, what value does origami bring to me? Like if I was to even want to learn origami, like what can you use your origami? You're saying like decorations, right, for houses?
I mean, for my mom's birthday, I made her a set of earrings, so that's nice.
So it can be used as like a gift?
So you don't know the uses of origami?
Yeah, no, like I don't know what
So I don't know what to use origami for.
Kevin.
Say it loud.
I personally don't know what to use origami for.
Alright.
It's a good problem.
Yep. Kevin.
Alright, so when Gabriel was first talking, I was kind of eager to talk because I thought of a problem already. So I see a problem with how if it's unstable, like when you make an origami, and I see that, and then you're saying that like the person bought like glass sculpture and then it breaks. That same problem could happen to the origami. It could break at any time, like, or if it drops off of the table or wherever it is hanging from. Like if they buy it that day, the next day, someone accidentally knocks it, it breaks, then it's basically the same problem with the glass sculpture.
And I would piggyback on that and say, I mean, it's made of paper, so depending on where I'm hanging in my house, will it fade? Like, how long is it good for?
Yeah. So it's fragile. It fades. It's easily disintegrates. It's paper.
Not a lot of people know about the culture of origami.
So not a lot of people know about the culture of origami. Did everybody hear me? Did everybody hear him?
No.
I heard him.
Okay. You have a good line of sight on him. Get that straight path.
Alright.
Okay. We have some origami problems now. Did you write any of them down? Yeah, good.
See, that's a problem.
That's a problem. See, that's a problem. Did you record class?
No.
Okay, we did. We did. So we might have a solution for you. But you just got a whole lot of problems. A lot of people talking about your business, telling you some of the problems they perceive. And these are all potential customers. Who hasn't gone? Oh yeah, you mean for the origami problem? Fantastic, thank you for reminding me. You got a problem? Come on, you got something.
You put yourself on the spot.
You put yourself on the spot, I love that. Come on, all right. State for me a problem that you heard that was most convincing and say it so confidently that we think you were the first person to think of it.
If I could just learn it off of YouTube go to your class.
Do we believe him?
I don't know what did he say.
Go ahead.
If I could learn it off YouTube, why should I go to your class?
I know.
That's a good question.
I have an answer. See me later.
Who here have I not heard about a problem for? Fashion Man?
No, car detailing.
Ooh, I love that.
Want me to say the problem?
No, I just want. No, that's not what we're doing today.
I feel like the problem is now, the problem with my business is that the problem that I'm addressing with my business is that people like tend to not care for their car as much, and it generally leads towards them with a dirty car.
Well,
Tends to people being less confident in the state of their car.
less confident in the state of their car?
Yeah.
You mean like whether it's in Rhode Island or?
No, like how clean it is.
Oh, how clean it is. Oh, that'd be me.
So I want you to state your problem. I mean, there are lots of little problems in this world, but can you state a problem very clearly and don't overcomplicate it? Like, what's the simple problem?
Your car's dirty.
Your car? Well, how are we overcomplicating this? Why are we talking at length? I mean, my car gets dirty.
Not mine.
Not yours?
I
Why?
don't know how you guys get your car dirty. Like, my car is always clean. Like, I always keep it clean. I don't understand.
You got people in your car?
No. Well, yeah. I have my little siblings, like 5, 6.
You keep it clean.
I
What does
keep
that
it
mean,
clean.
though?
Like, I don't understand how. I'm so busy and I still manage to keep my car clean.
So your car gets dirty. That's the problem. You
I
just
don't-
manage to clean it up.
I mean, I don't really let it get dirty. Like, I'll scream at my siblings if
Okay.
they dare to eat anything in my car or like touch their
So
hand.
can you eat in your car?
I eat in my car.
Yeah, but
because
can they eat in your
They
car?
can't
So
eat
there's a
my
rule
car.
that you can't eat. Oh yeah, that's a good rule.
I go to the car wash every single day, twice a day. I vacuum. I have a car wash membership. It's $20 a month, and I could go twice a day, every day.
And you do?
I do.
Well, then I guess we know why your car's so clean.
And I vacuum it all the time.
So you get your car cleaned all the time.
by
Any
myself.
other
I don't need
problems
nobody to do it.
for car detailing? Yes.
That's a problem right there. That most machines now just wash the whole car, and not a lot of people want to do it by hand. So they're not gonna bring to your company so that they could get a nice clean wax and everything by hand.
Well, my uncle buffs and wax my car.
But in detail, detailing,
Like
I
goes
think more
into-
about inside your car.
So it'll go for like shampooing your upholstery. Like the machine can only do so much on the outside, and then
Right.
you.
So
at the
there's
end
a
of the
problem. Machine can only do so much on the outside.
Yeah.
Stick to problems.
And then another thing is you're gonna get to the age where you can't clean your car twice a day by yourself every day. Like that's another thing. Then it could be you might not have the time to clean it twice a day. So it's time, and then a lot of it is like getting fatigued. You might not have the physical power to go out there and get over your rug 3 times to get all the excess dirt out of it. So.
Right.
Yes.
Also, quite frankly, as somebody who doesn't know a lot about cars, like I don't know what the difference is between somebody cleaning or washing like my car by hand versus me just going into a car wash where everything is automated. Like I don't know what the difference is.
The difference is you won't really see it. Like maybe it depends on like certain things that you want done to your car. So for one, you go bring your car through a machine. The one time the car wash where you go in and it just brings your car manually through automatically through the machine. That doesn't clean some stuff like your headlights. Most of them don't be waxed, and then you might even you might come out of it and your car, it might necessarily still have like water streaks on it. They don't always blow all the water off your car when it's in the drying stages of that process.
So why would I
Are you
choose?
whipping it with your
So why would I choose a car wash by hand? Based off of the things you said, why should I choose a car wash by hand versus a car wash by machine? This is the problem. You don't know why I should choose one versus the other, right?
Yeah. If one's less
Very simply.
That's the problem.
Very simply, why would you go? Because a machine, you can't talk to a machine.
Why do you need to talk to somebody?
Not
or something?
necessarily, like you can't get the specifics out of a machine.
So quality. I mean, we're hearing quality. So the machine is 80% of the way there.
Maybe like chips your paint off or something. Like
No, it's just like the problem that I see is that say like there's only, like when you go to that machine only has one function that everybody gets. But there may be something that you know that your car needs more of this care because it's like this is more dirty than this. But at that machine, it's just I'm gonna clean your car whether it's already clean or whether it's this might because like the inside might be cleaner. The inside might be dirtier than the outside. The machine can only clean the inside, the outside. So who's gonna clean the inside?
I mean, that's always a person.
So you get a more customized service. I can focus my attention. Machines can't focus their attention on problem areas. I can focus my attention on the problem areas of your car, so I can bring your car back to its original shine better than a machine ever could, because machines aren't as smart as me. Yeah, I'm smarter than a machine. That's your solution.
That's my motto.
All right. What do you got?
Fashion, but I mean, it doesn't really have to do with fashion. The problem is that kids in the inner city don't have much like motivation and inspiration to do certain things.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
So what do you say?
Kids in the inner city don't have enough inspiration.
He's trying to talk
No,
lower
yeah,
than
yeah,
him.
yeah.
He's trying to try. It's a competition.
Not-
It's a race to the bottom.
Yeah, not how did he say it. What did he say?
Tell me what he said. I'm sitting next to him.
Kids in inner cities don't have enough inspiration.
Inner cities don't have enough inspiration.
Kids from inner cities.
Kids from inner cities don't have enough inspiration. That's the problem. Okay. All right, got that.
Is that true? Prove it. Friday, prove it. Oh yeah, no,
Alright.
prove it now.
Who lives in the inner city here? Like, do you have like anybody or anything telling you like that you can do your best and like anybody motivating you?
Nah, I live in the
Here
project.
they are.
Excuse me.
They're here.
All right, this is a select few.
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, let's go from
All
there.
right.
Go from there. I just.
They're not gonna help us at all. They're all.
One person raised their
inspired
hand.
to be here.
I mean, do you live in a two-family home? Like, I mean, two parents?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Most kids in the inner city don't, so.
That's a problem. You're gonna solve that through fashion?
Yeah.
I think you got a like reverse hoodie going on here, right? You're like a turtle. You don't have anything over your head, but your mouth keeps disappearing.
Is that a problem?
I think so. I feel like that's the
Well,
problem.
there's lots of solutions out there I can think of for that. Not even about fashion. That's a great problem to have. Problems are great to have because it means if you find a solution, right, you have a business. I mean, not a great problem that kids are being kept in their car seat because the parent forgets about them and they're dying. That doesn't sound great, does it? But we watched the 10-year-old that solved the problem. You guys know, like, anybody here ever try to make bacon in a fry pan where it curls up? Yeah. So an 8-year-old girl made this little plastic piece, comes up, probably not plastic, whatever plastic would go in the microwave, I guess. It's a T-bar. And underneath is the tray, because there's a lot of grease in bacon when you cook it. And you just loop the bacon on the T-bar. Yeah, she was 8 years old. She sold millions of them. The bacon maker. That's what it's called. She solved the problem, right? Bacon grease gets everywhere. The bacon curls up when you try to make it.
Pops too.
Yeah. There's lots of problems. We love problems.
Come back.
I love hearing about problems.
Come
Because
back
then
on
underneath
Friday.
that, boom, solution.
Come back on Friday with somebody other than you saying it's a problem. By the way, it's funny, you got a little, like, that was good. I'm not disputing the problem. I'm asking you to prove the problem with real stats, real facts, real figures, so that nobody can say, oh, I don't get it. I've heard that before. We believe that to be true, but how do I really know? And what really happens as a result? And then you ask some really good probing questions to the class, right? So go get that research, back it up, so that somebody challenges you, you go, nope, this. It's a real problem. And when anybody gives me a real problem, I go, okay, you got a real opportunity for a real business. That's what I have for today. Your homework is to come back with a problem statement that you will stand up in the next class and state with confidence and authority and loudly, and you're going to have at least one secondary source, one article, one blog post, a bunch of comments that support, that say, look, there's other people who think this as well. This is a real problem. Other people are thinking that this is a problem. It's not just me.
And if you don't have a business idea yet to build off of, you need to see us this afternoon, all day tomorrow, 9 to 10 on Friday. All right.
Class dismissed, people.